Hello folks, so the question today is, can Americans travel to Italy? And the answer is no. The situation in Italy is a little bit overwhelming. We are in lockdown, and there are only a few exceptions that Americans are allowed to enter in the country. In fact, as of a few days ago, almost everyone arriving Italy, with a handful of exceptions, has to self-isolate on arrival. And you have to do at least a couple of tests. Now in this video we're going to discuss about what is going on right now in Italy, what's the situation, what's the vaccination rate. We're also going to talk to you about when do we think, as a small tour operating business in northern Italy, when do we think the borders will be open again for tourism. Alright, so I'm going to leave you to my wife to explain to you everything that's going on, and if you have any questions, please send us an email. We're always here to help you. Thanks again for watching this video.
So what is the situation now in Italy? Dante and I have been over here since August of 2020, and we've been through these various levels of shutdown, from the yellow to the orange to the red, and we've been talking to vendors. We know what's going on in the different regions, and we know you want to know, will you be able to travel this summer? Well, let's look a little bit at the numbers. Italy has a population, as of 2019, had a population of over 60 million people. As of the third week of March, right now, 2.6 million Italians have received both doses of the vaccine, and only 5.6 million have received one dose of the vaccine. This equates to less than 10% of the Italian population having their vaccines. You can look in the comments below. We've put some links to where our numbers and where our sources are coming from, and some of those have real updates, so you can actually track what's going on in real time. The vaccines are going very slowly in Italy, and actually in most of Europe as well. At this rate, we do not see Italy being ready for summer travel. The government in Italy, as well as many of the European Union countries, do not want to make the same mistake they made last year. Last year, they opened too soon. They allowed everybody to come in. They allowed everybody to travel. And by July, when the restrictions were loosened, everybody was having fun. They were going to the beach. They were going to the mountains. They were going to parties. But what ended up happening? We had to close again in the fall, and we ended up with the variants, which right now, the variants are even more deadly than the original Wuhan variation of the virus. Scientists all over the world seem to agree that we need about 75 to 80% of a population to be vaccinated in order to consider ourselves at herd immunity. The question is, will we see that by the end of the summer? And the answer is, of course, that we do not know. But let's look a little bit at what is going on here in Italy. The government wants to ramp up the vaccinations, and they want to get to 500,000 vaccinations a day starting in mid-April. And you ask, okay, that's still 3 weeks away. The reason is because there's a huge supply issue here in Italy, so they're giving themselves time to get up to a supply of 500,000 vaccines a day. So once they start giving out 500,000 vaccines a day, it would take about 90 days for 50% of the population to have both doses. And Johnson & Johnson may get thrown into that mix as well, so there might be some people with single dose. But in general, it would take about 90 days to get up to 30 million people fully vaccinated. Now, if you think about what I just said, that's only 50% of the Italian population. So we're not at herd immunity. This is also a higher rate of vaccination than Italy has performed before. It's also a higher rate of vaccination than most of the European Union countries have been processing the vaccinations. In fact, Italy, for as far behind as they are, is ahead of other European nations in giving out their vaccines. So part of the point is that this is a goal, but it's a goal that hasn't yet been achieved. So we say that it looks great on paper, but we need to make sure that it's something that's actually going to happen. As far as most sources that we look into have said, for us as healthy 40-something-year-olds, we are actually probably on the list for around August or September to get our shots. So that means after the summer travel would have happened. We understand people want to be optimistic, and we see other tour operators selling these tours to Italy and to Europe and to other countries. We see April, May, June tours being sold and offered, and people are asking us about those. We find it very misleading and simply not right. Don't get us wrong. There's nothing more that we would want than to have the borders open, to be able to go back to our jobs, to know that most of our friends and colleagues are back to work, to see you out there enjoying your vacation. Of course, that's what we want. As a family tour operating business, this has been devastating for us. But the truth of the matter is that health and safety need to come first. Vaccinated people can still carry the virus. So as long as you have vaccinated people coming into a highly unvaccinated population, you still can have people passing the virus along. And this is not safe for the population that's unvaccinated. So this brings us to the next point. Airlines and tour packages and things that are being sold online right now. Traveling right now is very cheap. If you go online and you do a little Expedia search, prices are super cheap. We have seen Expedia fares across the Atlantic for $400, which we haven't seen since we were dating 15 years ago. Airlines are offering to let you cancel your airfare and use those certificates later. But, and there are those companies out there that have these packages. They're like $500, book now, and you get your airfare and your hotel for a week stay in Europe for $500. They're very enticing, of course. I mean, even we would think about, ooh, do we really want to book that? But you need to inform yourself. You need to read that small print. Air France just put out on their website that you can purchase a ticket, and if you need to cancel the flight, you can suspend that credit for up to 2 years. But there's an asterisk, and you have to follow all the way down to the bottom of their webpage to find that asterisk, where it says that your credit will be suspended. That's fine. Okay, great. You didn't lose your money. But if the airfare goes up, you're responsible for the difference. So let's say that you buy this amazing $400 airfare from the US to France for this May, and it cancels because the country hasn't opened up yet. Well, you go next year to travel again, and now the airfare is $1,200. You have to pay them the $800 difference, so you really didn't save any money. And in the meantime, what they actually did was they took your money, they kept their business afloat, right? And they know you're going to pay that other airfare later on, or even better for them, you're going to forfeit the airfare. So they took your money to run their business, and you will eventually end up paying the full price anyway. And some of these travel companies are doing the same thing. So you have to ask yourself, can you really get to Europe for $400? Can you really buy a week's vacation with a hotel and airfare and maybe even some meals or tours included for $500? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Please read the fine print first. Here at VAFELTRE Tours, we are not taking any deposits or payments until the borders open again. You can please call us. I'm more than happy to work with anybody over the phone to help plan your vacation, to help write your itinerary, to get all of those plans in place so that we can book the moment that the borders do open up. Or you can book risk-free on our website without paying a deposit, without making any payments, just to reserve your spot on any of the tours that we are offering. Also, by subscribing to this video or for signing up for our newsletter, you will find out when we are doing bookings again, because you'll be on our notification list and we can let you know right away what's going on. We will work with all of our passengers to ensure that you have a comprehensive travel insurance policy for your trip. If a COVID outbreak happens while you're overseas, either in the country that you're in or in the country that you might be transiting through on the airplane, then the policy will help you if you have to change the flight, if you need extra hotels, and it'll help pay for anything additional that you might need in order to get home. If someone in your group gets sick or injured during the trip, the policy will also help cover those hospital costs and help get you home. There are so many unknowns right now, but we will be working with you to make sure that you have the right policy in place to protect you and your family. In the spring of 2020, the world came to a standstill almost overnight. The economic effects will be felt for years to come. Governments worldwide now fully recognize that tourism is very important to their economies. We can't wait to have you join us at VAFELTRE. Come travel with us in Italy and Europe. We can't wait for it to happen. Together, we will be part of the recovery and help the world heal. Thank you so much for watching.